Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. Now, we have a lot of new subscribers, so I figured I would go ahead and explain what this episode is all about. So what I tend to do is I will compile all of the FSD uploads from the 2000 FSD beta testers, and I try to pull out all of the most interesting examples of where the progress is with FSD. So the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I try to take them out, the most interesting parts, and I try to condense it all into one video so that you, as the viewers, don't have to spend hours and hours and hours watching all these different videos and trying to get a rough perspective about where the latest software really is. So right now we are on FSD Beta 10. Okay, this is the new version that was released on Saturday around 2 a.m. West Coast time. Okay, now with this release, keep in mind, it is just a retrained neural net. So the entire stack was retrained. Now, there were rumors that this new iteration, Beta 10, would have a kind of compiler stack. In other words, we would have the highway functionality, we would have the city streets, which is what FSD is, the city streets part of it, and we would have the auto summon, the parking features. All of that would be compiled into one software stack. That is not a accurate thing right now. Beta 10 is just a completely retrained neural net. Elon has hinted that entire stack, where we take all those different pieces and put it into one software stack, will probably come out with 10.1, which is slated to be released about 2 weeks from now. So with all that said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to dive into it. I front loaded this video with my favorite clips, so we'll go through those, and we'll pause along the way to point things out and highlight different things. And this is gonna be a fun video, so I got my drink ready. Go get your drink. And before we get into it, actually, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and let's go ahead and see what FSD Beta 10 is all about.
We're here in San Francisco at Lombard Street. The car really does not want to take us down it, but we're going to force it to go down Lombard Street and see how well Beta 10 does on this crooked, curvy road. I'm going to set it up first just so we can update the GPS. The GPS does not want to update, but I'm going to turn it on here and to see what occurs. I'm going to manually set the speed to 5 miles per hour.
Now bear right to stay on Lombard Street.
Here's the pesky turn. It's always so pesky. Wow. Wait. Wow, that's the first time we've ever seen it make that turn ever in our lives. On every update, this is the first one to do it.
That's super cool.
Wow.
I thought it was going to lose it for a second, but it actually made it.
Wow, and that wheel usually gets nice and close. That didn't occur this time either.
Yeah, this is way better than it was.
Adding the blinker on here.
Now turn right onto Leavenworth Street.
Wow. This is unbelievable. Wow, YouTube. FSD Beta just did completely Lombard Street. No interventions on Beta 10.0.
That was Lombard Street. So if you're not familiar with Lombard Street, it's in San Francisco. It's this extremely windy road. It's got constantly a traffic jam of people just going down. It's more of a tourist thing. And it's just regular road, but it's constantly winding down. It's very, very tight, sharp turns, as you can see here, and it's going downhill the whole time. And this has been done several times with previous iterations, with for all the way from 8, 8.1, 8.2, all through the 9s. But now with the FSD Beta 10, it's the first time that he's been able to go through Lombard Street without any issues. By the way, I should have mentioned this in my intro. I will link all of the full videos of all of these YouTube videos that from these beta testers that were uploaded. I'll link them down below. So if you want to, spend time and look at them yourself, you can watch everything in full context. But, I want to give credit to all the creators who, took the time to make all these videos as well. So shout out to all of them. And, the ones I'm more familiar with, I'll give them probably shout outs throughout this video as well. But all right, let's see what else we got here.
No way. Wow. Killing it right there. Dude, this is better. This is feeling wow, let's go. This is feeling much better than any previous version for sure. Just, it's hard to put exactly in context, but just much smoother. The car feels more confident, which gives me a lot more confidence. Seattle, I think these are some of the trickiest.
So you'll see that there's a lot of little clips like what we just saw there, and obviously I'm sure most of you can understand or can tell by the voice that was Gali from Hyperchange. Shout out to him, great channel. Check it out if you haven't. It's Hyperchange. But that right there, I think those moments are maybe some of the more important moments, rather than seeing turns or how it handles unprotected left-hand turns or how it merges into traffic or anything like that. It's hard through a video to get the understanding of how it feels, the confidence, the smoothness, the lack of jerkiness, right? And hearing what Gali was just saying, I think those are, for people who are just viewing and aren't actually within the vehicle, I think those moments are very powerful. So, just keep that in mind too. You'll see some of those other ones, but, understanding that and hearing that from them and how it resonates with them, the way it's just smooth and confident, that goes very far and tells us where FSD Beta 10 really is in comparison to 9.1 and 9.2.
And once we get here, I'm going to take us to downtown Capitol Hill, where like there's a bunch of bars and drunk people. So wow, I mean, this is killing it. Nobody's on the road, so, because it's 3 a.m., but still. Okay, first minor little move. Wow, didn't even come to a full stop. The California roll, let's go. God, this is incredible. I mean, I gotta say, I'm a believer right here. Road for it to try. Ooh, let's see what first test here. Let's see. Whoa. Ooh, nice. Is it gonna let this guy go? Oh, nice. Okay, it's letting him go. I didn't intervene. Okay. Killing it.
So if you want to rewind back a little bit, you can, but there's a lot that actually just happened there. It looks like the Tesla almost, had I don't want to say accident, but, interfered with the other car when it was turning. But I rewatched this like 3 times just to confirm before I was going to say it here on the video. But the Tesla actually got to the intersection first. The Tesla did have the right of way, and that's why the Tesla started going first. And I love the way whenever the pedestrian who was crossing the crosswalk, if you notice that individual, they're, just to use some basic terms, but their acceleration, right? They started off at a normal walk, and then he all of a sudden, went to a little bit of a jog just to be able to cross a crosswalk before the Tesla turned. So the way the Tesla was able to identify that, react to it, understand, oh, this human being is accelerating their own velocity, right? Like, and it took that into context and stopped instead of going. I think that's a minor thing. That is actually a very big deal. So you'll see more stuff like that throughout this, but I just wanted to give context to that. Technically the Tesla did everything correct with what we just saw there. That would be no different than anything we would do. We get to an intersection, we have the right of way, we go first, but another car is going as well. We decide to pause and we'll yield to them, let them go ahead and go, and then everything we saw with the pedestrian.
Ooh, I think it used to mess up at those yellow lights before, but there it did perfectly. We got the light. Is it gonna make the light? Let's go. Happens. Ooh, see this, the zoom out on intersection, the lines definitely looking clear. Gucci. Nice little lane change there. Gucci. I think this is kind of a bus lane. Wow, I mean, it is crushing it right now. I think the Seattle streets are super weird too. So
to pause there real quick, a lot of things just happened there. One, it aggressively and confidently moved over into that right lane for the turning lane, and Gali was obviously not expecting it. He probably wasn't looking at his navigation, wasn't realizing that was going to take a right, but it aggressively and confidently went into that right hand lane. And then after it made the turn, the Tesla realized, oh, this is a bus lane, and the Tesla corrected and got into the left lane. So a lot of good things there. Now, I know I've seen some people criticize, oh, this is a bus lane. Why is the Tesla turning to a bus lane? You should know it's a bus lane. But those aren't things that are always understood, whether you think about a GPS map, or even just in real life. When I'm driving, when you're driving, a lot of times we take a turn and we're not aware it's a bus lane until after we see that's a bus lane. And I think the Tesla did the same thing there, right? It recognized bus lane and it went ahead and got out of that lane.
I am very, very impressed. Look at how solid these lines are. Great. Whoa. Oh, okay, I didn't disengage. There was a guy on the scooter there. I don't know if you saw that. Although I don't know why. Okay, now we've got some people kind of crossing, not in the crosswalk. Is it gonna let them go? Ooh, look at how smooth that was. Wow. Wow, still no disengagements. It's being very cautious right now. Okay. Got a car behind me. I hope I don't have the police, because I feel like I could get pulled over, because it looks like I'm just, yeah. I think this.
And again, we see here that the Tesla is, it's being cautious with those pedestrians crossing the street. Now, I will say, it did what looked like it did a phantom brake, but I watched this video over and over, probably 4 times, trying to see if there's any other indicators of why it might have braked that hard out of nowhere. And it does, I think Gali is right. I think it saw the scooter, wasn't sure where that person on the scooter was going to go. Much like those pedestrians, right? Those pedestrians, the vehicle stopped for those pedestrians, even though there was no crosswalk, right? They crossed in the middle of the street, in the middle of a 4-way intersection almost. And the vehicle understood, okay, they turned their bodies. It looks like they're going to start walking this way. And so those are the, subtleties of that I think we're seeing with FSD Beta 10, with, the variables of the world, humans, dogs, scooters, motorcycles, right? All of those other inputs that come in, other than just the static environment, right? Other than just the street signs, the roads, the lines, the markings, etc. But I think that also shows us, though, that slight jerkiness. That, keep in mind, this is FSD Beta 10. No one's saying this is feature complete. No one's saying this is level 5. It's saying it's Beta 10. However, I would say, it's a monumental step change that we've seen even just so far here.
This seems like it's good enough to really roll out to more people. And I've already been hearing rumors that they're rolling it out to, they've expanded the beta program with this release. And I think that's dope. And eventually they're going to have the button where anybody can just click and download FSD or get the beta who wants it, who paid for the FSD. And it sounds like we're very close to that. So if you're watching this and you're like, damn, when am I going to get this? I'm hoping it sounds like within a month or so. Maybe Elon even said 2 weeks after this release. I think that was the optimistic, so I'd go to be safe like a month. But this is by far the best update, the biggest improvement, I think, in the technology. So this is actually a bus lane, but I think you're allowed to be in it if you're taking a right, but we didn't do that. Oh no, we're taking a left. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. Wait, am I allowed to take a left here? This is a one-way. No, I'm allowed. Okay, it knows what it's doing more than me. Ooh, shit. I think it might, there was like yeah, you saw that. Ah, damn. Okay, so we did have a disengagement. I don't know, it probably would have been fine there, but I just didn't want it to get rim rash. Ooh, yellow? Wow, that was smooth. What's it doing here?
On that last clip, I love how the Tesla is starting to, even if it's a yellow light, right? It's understanding, okay, it's yellow. That doesn't mean I have to stop, and it'll negotiate whether or not to go through the yellow light or to stay put. And you saw how smooth that was, right? It turned yellow. The Tesla didn't even hesitate, just kept going as if, as if it was a human doing it. I think those are the layers of the confidence and the smoothness that you'll hear over and over from all of these testers. And I think that's what we're seeing there.
Uh-oh, here we go. Oh no, is it about to do it? If it can get into that left lane, then it's...
Before we just jump into this one, a precursor, this is the infamous Gali monorail test. So in Seattle, they have this monorail, which you can see here a little bit, and you'll see obviously when I play the clip, but it has these pillars that are holding this monorail above the street. And the Tesla has had trouble dealing with crossing over. You have 2 lanes on one side of the monorail and 2 lanes, it might be 3, but 2 lanes on the other side of the monorail. And the Tesla has navigation to take a left. And what it happens is it turns into this lane, and think of the mic as the monorail. It's right between it. And somehow it has to go from these 2 lanes to these 2 lanes. Now, in between, all we have are these pillars, right? So there is a gap in between where it could cross. But I think Gali says it's technically illegal to do that. And so here he's testing again to see how the Tesla negotiates it and if it does, cross in between. So this is what we're checking out, see if it can, right? If it can avoid the pillars, if it recognizes the pillars or not. So let's see how this test goes with Beta 10.
Gonna actually do it. No way. No way. Okay, well, damn. I mean, did it just do it though? Because it was gonna go all the way the left around. Oh shit, I gotta run that back. That's how you take the next left. And I think it was about to do it. And then I just kind of chickened out because it was going close to the pole. But we're gonna give it another shot here for the name of science. Okay, see, now I'm gonna look what it's saying here. Because if it can, we want it to go there. If it can figure that out, then that's the move. It still seems like it wants to go the first, but I don't know. A little nervous. Oh shit. Okay, fuck. I don't know, it's kind of doing the same thing there. Fuck. Alright, should I run it back one more time? I'm gonna run it back one more time, but we're gonna loop another block further, just to make it like just maybe a different turn. I'd one, because that's what we need. Ooh, okay. Okay, no disengagements, it did that. Run this slow. Okay, so now we got a bunch of blocks to try this. See, you're not supposed to be able to pass here. So I think if you don't make that first turn, you're kind of done for it. I don't want to look at the screen, but I want to look at the screen. Uh-oh. I don't know, I just get nervous, you know? Whoa, I think it was about to do it. Fuck, I disengaged. Fuck. I think it was about to do, I think it did it. Damn. I mean, I think that counts. I'm gonna say, okay, this is, the monorail test is hard. Okay, I'm gonna whip us back home and do a recap. That was crazy though.
Okay, so now that was Gali trying this at night. So he tried it again during the daytime. And, you know, hopefully I'm not wrong. Pretty sure that's the next clip here, but let's take a look at that.
interesting how it's like different each time. Oh, so now you can see when it's planning it. It keeps changing its mind though. Oh, hey.
Wow.
Oh, 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 oh my god.
Let's go. It
like
did it
tensed
again.
up because we got so close to that thing.
Let's get into it. We're going to start with a clip that I know for sure is going to divide people, just like my parking lot video did, and I'll let you be the judge on how the FSD Beta does here. We're in Chinatown making a right turn at a red light with pretty low visibility and lots of pedestrians around. Autopilot looks like it's ready to proceed as soon as those pedestrians are out of the way, but now has to wait for incoming traffic on the left-hand side. And check it out. Creeping forward slowly while there are still approaching cars in view. Very nice, very nice. Looks like traffic is backing up on the right-hand side and people are still using this crosswalk, so autopilot stays put. See, and this is where it comes down to you. Like, I am actually pretty happy that we're not darting in right now and waiting for everything to kind of calm down, but I know there's so many people that want it to be more aggressive and just go for it in situations like that. And now we have to deal with a car who is completely blocking our view to incoming traffic from the left. I guess this is a good time to remind you that my 360 camera, the view you're seeing on top, is mounted in about the same spot as the B-pillar cameras on the car. So what you're seeing as far as incoming traffic and views to the left and right should be pretty similar to what the car sees. Autopilot just can't catch a break. We now have a lane-splitting motorcycle, which is super close to us. I thought this might throw Autopilot for a loop, but I actually think it does a great job at staying on track and being pretty smooth through here. And we now see some mild aggression with the creeping. Autopilot suddenly decides it has places to be, and despite seeing all of the approaching cars, it nudges its way in here. This was a 10 out of 10 right turn on red for me.
Okay, so that to me was probably one of the most telling clips that I have seen so far ever with any version of FSD, where I thought this is so close to being ready for real time, for prime time. Okay, the human, the natural instincts of the Tesla on how it just approached that. So at first it was patient. Okay, it dealt with cars coming by. It didn't just go to clog up a four-way intersection just to get in there and cause a traffic jam. People are walking by left and right. Then the car to the left of it pulls up. So now the Tesla, right, it's like this. So now the Tesla can't see what's going on over here from the left. And so the Tesla has to creep up. And then a motorcyclist comes right in between the two vehicles and is sitting there. And then, just like we all would, right? This is the human element that I'm talking about. Like we all would. This is where we start to get a little frustrated, a little annoyed. We're like, okay, well, if this isn't going to happen for me, if no one's going to let me in, I have to creep myself out into traffic. And that's what the Tesla did. Even though cars are coming by, it slowly edged itself out, and then it made itself into that turn. Okay, to me, this was, if nobody else knew that this was a FSD Beta that was driving this vehicle, Beta 10 driving this vehicle, I guarantee people would think that that was a human driving the vehicle. Nobody would ever suspect that what we just saw there was not a human. And that's what's ridiculous. And this is FSD Beta 10. That crawling, that creep, that is, I think, one of the biggest differences. I mean, there are a lot of differences, right? The confidence everyone talks about. You can see the UI, all that's changed a little bit, but the crawling, the creeping forward to really edge out, that has improved dramatically. And fun little fact here, Elon tweeted recently that 10.1 will be even more human-like. So what'll happen with the creep is it'll come out a little bit, and then like we all do, right? Sometimes you creep out a little bit just to see into that turn, and sometimes you go out a little too far. Well, this will be the first time with FSD that Tesla ever goes backwards. So if it crawls out too far and it thinks it's in a situation of, oh, okay, I went a little too far into the road, let me back up a little bit, it will actually back up now. So this will be the first time with FSD we've ever seen reverse. So that's kind of exciting. So that's something to look out for in the next couple weeks. All right, let's continue.
Where Autopilot didn't do quite as well. We have a pretty confusing right turn up ahead, and also a pedestrian crossing the street. And for some reason it starts controlling for this pedestrian fairly late. This was a bit of a fluke, and the only time something like this happened during my entire drive, but yeah, really pretty odd. This lane suddenly becomes a left turn only lane, which Autopilot sees and visualizes on the instrument cluster, but makes a mistake and tries to get in front of this car to our right instead of getting behind it. Then when he doesn't let us in, Autopilot actually continues through the left turn. Obviously having some trouble with the path planning here with no navigation route, but so far is better than handing back the driver control, which is what happened most of the time in previous versions. I wouldn't call that one graceful, but it did do it by itself. Coming up, we have a left turn to make where there are some cones in.
Now, before this plays out again, I think this again goes back to that human element. Watch how you'll see up here on the left, it needs to get into that left turn lane, right up here, just in front of the vehicle. You can see 2 cones. And it needs to get over into that left lane, but there's cones. I think it's a bus lane with green pavement, and it's just kind of tight and it has to squeeze in there. Now, this is something as humans, we would just do, I mean, obviously you're a little hyper aware of the situation and where you're at, right? It's not just a blank lane with nothing unusual, right? This is something that you would be aware of. And the Tesla just goes right in there like it's nothing, right? Again, like a human. Watch how it approaches this and tell me, like, you would never think that this was a self-driving vehicle.
The turning lane, and a fair amount of pedestrians around. It's nice seeing autopilot being able to drive over green concrete pretty confidently. I remember with Beta 5 or 6, it was having some difficulty there.
All right, this lady who's maybe or maybe not going to cross. I hate people who walk like this with a crosswalk. I mean, she's not even on the sidewalk. You'll see. It's just a frustration for me. It's people who have never lived in a city. They don't care. They're not aware of the world. But I'm not saying I'd have the same issue that Tesla did, because I would be a little more aggressive and be like, all right, well, you either get out of my way or, get hit. One or the other. Make a decision. What are you doing? But, that's I lived in New York for a while, so that's a little bit of that coming out. But you'll see. I still think the Tesla does everything perfectly. At the end of the day, the mission for FSD is to avoid crashes at all times, no matter what. As Elon says, even if a UFO lands in front of it and crashes, avoid all debris, avoid the UFO, no matter what.
Our light is about to turn green, and as soon as it does, this lady takes a few steps across the crosswalk, and autopilot decides it does not want to proceed. This is one of those situations where I probably definitely would have gone around, but, it's being extra safe, because this lady could technically step out at any point, and as soon as the path planner turned blue, she steps out. The path planner being blue basically means it's ready to proceed, by the way. We are now sitting on the side of the road, and I engage autopilot while there's a lot of traffic from the left to see if it's able to understand when to pull into traffic. The top view camera I have right now, I reversed it so that it's almost like looking in a rear view mirror, like if you were looking out of your side view mirror or something. So this is a little bit different than my other videos. Please let me know if this is confusing for you or if this actually works better. Autopilot actually seeming like it understands and pulls out when it's safe. This, I can tell you, is much different than other previous firmware versions, so really cool to see. And the last clip I'll show you, due to time, is me basically putting autopilot directly in harm's way by disengaging and re-engaging when there is a double parked truck directly in front of us and it has to contend with all this traffic to the left. I actually do have quite a few more clips that I wanted to include in here, but my goodness, the time just flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Alright, pretty good so far. Autopilot coming to a complete stop behind the truck, waiting for a gap in traffic, turns on its turn signal, moves around the truck, and proceeds. Doesn't get much better than that, folks.
Okay, so, we just got done with, those series of videos. The human, confidence and smoothness of the vehicle is just absolutely insane to me, okay? It's just the way it navigates it all. Now, clearly, we saw a few points where there's a little jerkiness, but we didn't see any disengagements or anything, right? Anything that really stuck out. Obviously, this is still beta. And, we will see disengagements throughout this video, okay? This isn't a, Tesla's the best, FSD's here kind of video, right? This is to attempt to be, fair and honest with, everybody and show you where things are at. There are plenty of disengagements we'll see, but there are definitely very few disengagements that we've seen with any of the videos, right? Anybody who's uploaded anything, it's absolutely wild to see where it's at. And I can honestly tell you that, again, I've spent hours, and I've probably spent maybe 15 hours just watching all of these, a lot of these videos I've watched multiple times, and it's a very clear, definitive step change. Without a doubt, very obvious. We are getting so close to real FSD.
We're on FSD Beta version 10. So I'm just gonna be honest, I actually have been having some pretty bad issues. So I had to reset my camera calibration and I rebooted the car. So I've been driving pretty much all morning, but I had to reset the car because it's not been going very well for me. I'm just gonna be honest. This build has been a little bit on the rough side, to the point where it was attempting to turn right onto every single driveway that I was passing while I was driving. Like, the car just kept swerving. It was really scary. So this is the very first attempt that I've done since I've reset the cameras and rebooted the car. I'm really hoping it's improved.
Okay, so after you hear that, right, that was, if anything, sounds like the worst review ever of FSD Beta 10. So keep in mind, this is the first time that he is driving testing FSD Beta 10 since he recalibrated his cameras and rebooted his vehicle. All right, so let's see how it reacts now. Okay, so keep an open mind. You heard him essentially just being honest, saying it's awful, right? Now let's see what he says after he did the recalibration.
So this is much better. Like I was saying, I had a really, really rough experience when I first started driving today. I don't know what happened, but it was literally, the pathing was literally curving and attempting to pull into literally like this, every driveway. It just kept pulling to the right, which was really, I've just never had that happen before. So this is better. Word of caution to other testers out there, do a camera calibration and reboot your car, because there was definitely something acting up. So this is unprotected on the left and right. So it's creeping forward. It creeped perfectly. It stopped, it creeped, it stopped, and then it accelerated. That was very natural to me. That wasn't like weird before, like it would kind of go too fast. This time it just rolled. This was perfect. This is a lot better, like, I don't think I've even shown you guys the new creeping behavior since version 9.1. It now stops and rolls very natural. I didn't post my last video. It's actually still on the camera here. I just hadn't got around to editing. So we're completely blocked with trees here. Look at how slow it's creeping. This is so good. So there is a car on the left. There's cars on the right. It's responding perfectly. There's actually more cars on the right. Stopping and rolling. This is exactly what I would do as a driver. Exactly. It is now clear on the left and on the right. And it worked perfect. I hope you guys saw that. That was very successful. Unprotected, blind. It was completely blocked on both sides. It stopped and creeped perfectly. This is perfect. Okay.
Now, before we get into this roundabout, that was beautiful. That was absolutely perfection. Okay, that creep, waiting for the vehicles, a little slow roll, and as soon as it was clear, there was no hesitation. It took off. It went ahead. I mean, it was, this is a real step change. From 9 to 9.1 to 9.2 to now 10, this is a severe step change. Now, unfortunately, I guess I might as well talk about this now. I don't have any videos from Chuck Cook. I wanted to see him negotiate that unprotected left-hand turn where he has to cross the median, but unfortunately he hasn't posted any videos. I don't know if he's on vacation or if he has a work conference or something, but I'm looking forward for those coming out. If he does post one, And, you know, obviously I'm already making this video now about FSD Beta 10, but if he does release it, I will make another video just to cover that, even if it's only 5 minutes long, because I'm very curious to see if his issue on that unprotected left-hand turn is solved. The reason this video is coming out, you know, today on Wednesday, instead of on Monday or after the weekend after this was released, is because I was waiting for Chuck to release the videos, but he never did. So, you know, I thought I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't go ahead and get this out there. So, you know, in case you're wondering about the timing, that's why. But let's go ahead and see how this roundabout gets negotiated.
Now, it's always struggled with these particular roundabouts. There's a car coming, and it stopped. Perfect. There's a pedestrian coming, so let's see what it's going to do. It negotiated it. And it went around a... Wow! Oh, okay, you guys, that was awesome! It went... There was a car backing up. It went around the car backing up and navigated the rotary. This is so cool. Okay. I'm over the brake. I'm like ready. But it's working. It's holding for all the cars. And now this is a busy one. There's more cars coming on the left. You just cleared. Clear, it's clear, it's clear. This is great. Oh man. Okay, this is so good. This is so good. Oh. It navigated both of those roundabouts perfectly. Whoa. Okay. It was attempting to go through the red light. Now, it may have stopped, but we're already into the crosswalk, which we shouldn't be.
So I'll take this moment to just mention once again, over and over, and I only say this for all of those Tesla Q people out there, all those naysayers against FSD, right? This is once again saying this is still beta. We see it there very clearly. That was a disengagement. You know, even if the vehicle were to have stopped, right, it was already in the crosswalk area, so that's not correct, and that's too close, you know, for comfort. So this is still beta, still work in progress. It's not perfect, right? We're still, you know, a decent way down from being perfect here, and we probably never will reach perfect. Okay, perfection is a unattainable goal, but it is, you know, where your true north should be. And so, you know, this is not, like I said, and here's, you know, proofs in the pudding, that this is not a video just to show the best parts of FSD Beta 10. You know, that was clearly an issue. That was a very obvious disengagement. And, you know, in real life, if someone were to do that, right, that could be very dangerous and could lead to an accident. So luckily, those disengagements, they get sent back to Tesla and they see what happened. And then they try to get a vast amount of sampling sizes of those type of situations to retrain the neural net. And we iterate upon that. So that's the process over and over. And again, this is why it's called beta. All right, and this is why the driver has to be attentive at all times, and that's why Tesla is very explicit about the instructions on how to use this, that you are still in charge, you still need to be ready to take over, you need to have your hands on the wheel at all times.
Oh, man, why did it do that? Oh, it just like braked hard. I think because that car was out in the road. We were fine here, but like, that was completely unnecessary. Path into driveways. Well, it was... What did it do that for? I'm not sure why it just did that. It was trying to turn left here, but we have a right-hand turn. That was strange. And there was a car there. And I felt it start to go, which was really weird behavior. Doesn't like cones. Look at this. What is it doing? It's like... You know, this is exactly what someone else was saying this morning. They said that they were having trouble with incorrect lane selection. We just experienced that. The car was attempting to actually move over to this lane We're now in the wrong lane.
Now, what was being talked about there is that there's another beta tester who's talked about how there's two different, scenarios, right? One, you have the vehicle, the Tesla itself, planning its path and seeing the world and understanding the world. But then there's also the input of the GPS map situation, right? You set a destination and that has, hey, take a left on this road. Hey, take a right over here. Hey, take this on-ramp. Well, sometimes there's a conflict, okay? And then what do you choose? Do you choose the map or do you choose what the Tesla is seeing? And so there's it's not perfectly overlaid is what they're saying, right? They don't both confirm each other. And so sometimes that leads to situations like that where it was supposed to take a left, but it was in the right lane and it missed the left because there's a conflict there. So I don't think this is a big deal. I know some people are making this to a bigger deal than what it is. I think at the end of the day, just like parking, right? Tesla's not working on getting the vehicles to park yet or deal with parking lots. That's such low-hanging fruit. That's such an easy thing to solve once you have everything else figured out. This map situation, I really don't think is that big of a deal. I don't think they're stressing about it. I think it's going to be something that they can solve very easily, same as, parking lot situations. So I get it. Everybody has what's important to them. But to me, what matters right now is just the general driving of the Tesla. Can it navigate the real world, avoid accidents at all costs, avoid hitting any pedestrians, in cities, and, at the end of the day, work natural enough where other humans can understand where if the Tesla gets, into a weird predicament, that humans from the external world can understand what the vehicle is doing and understand, okay, that's a very natural way to correct what you're doing, right? We don't want to see any kind of weird robotic movements or anything of that nature. Okay, so let's check out this video. I love this video. Mainly, I think because it looks like they just went to the store to get his wife flowers. I just thought it was pretty sweet. So let's check it out.
Creeping is okay. See,
Come on, creep.
It's like I'm here at the stop sign.
Creep. Be a creep. Be a creep. A little further. Come on, creep.
You're good this way.
Creep. Go.
You're good this way. You're
Go.
still good this way.
Go. It's creeping. I want to see what it does.
Okay.
Holy crap, it did it.
Wow! Where is it going?
To the lane that it can see. Hey, it did it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little slower, but it did it. Good car.
Now turn left onto Bouquet Canyon Road.
No cameras in the nose.
There's something about this video that just, it's very short, it's very quick, but there's just so much comedy into it. So first, it's an unprotected left-hand turn, right? Very much so compared to what I was talking about with Chuck Cook's videos. What I'm looking for is that, left-hand unprotected turn that he's been having issues with. So this is what they just negotiated, no problem. But I love how he's sitting there telling him, be a creep to the Tesla just to creep up. And then whenever it finally goes, just hearing her say, wee. And then, of course, after they make the turn, them sitting there petting the car saying, good Tesla, good Tesla. Like, it's pretty comical, at least for me. But, yeah, maybe I'm just lame like that. Anyways, let's move on.
And I will tell you a couple differences I've noticed right off the bat is the lines on the road, as you can see, are a lot more solid rather than being kind of that chalky look. And wow, really nice unprotected left here. As that car went through, the Tesla just moved right through. Very good. The lines are a lot more solid, so you can see the center line, the white lines are not as chalky as they were before. So that means the car is more certain in what it's seeing. And you can see the car will put up dashed lines like the public build. So all of that is a lot better. At the same time, I'm also noticing as we approach a change in speed limit to a lower speed limit, the car is actually lowering its speed limit, the number in the little blue circle there. It's lowering it before we get to the speed limit sign, which is really good. Now, it didn't slow in the time I saw it on my way down here. It didn't slow down to that speed still soon enough, but it had begun slowing before the sign. which is definitely an improvement. That's something a lot of people have been asking for, so really good job there. A cop car or something, I doubt that's displayed, but you never know. It will be added eventually. So moving through that left turn, again, really, really good. Wow, really liking this so far. The left turns are really good, and the driving is very confident. So directly into the sun here.
So I love the way it just, again, I mentioned this earlier in the video, yellow light still goes through it, right? Green to yellow goes through it smoothly. And this sequence of videos are very good for what we see right here. I don't know about you, but I've been in so many situations before where the sun comes up and I'm so blinded, even with sunglasses, that I can't really see the road. And this, obviously I'm not in the car, so I can't really tell. But this is one of those situations where I feel that way. If you look in the rendering for the FSD Beta 10, you'll see that way before you can even see, well, maybe not way before, but before you can actually really make out what's happening up front, it has it perfectly rendered already. And so I think this is one of the big advantages of, you know, having a camera-based system that has, you know, surround video. It's just better than us with our two eyes and, you know, being susceptible to light, right? If light hits us, like, we have to squint and it just does things to us, where a camera doesn't really have to react. A camera can keep looking straight into the sun at all times.
Second after this big truck, and they're going to continue. Wow, that guy just is going to fly through. Is he going to let us go? Let's see what the car does here. Nope. So he's going to cut us off, which is illegal and wrong because we were here first. And now, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. The the navigation ended, so that was my fault. So I have to hit the accelerator. So if all I did was hit the accelerator there, and the car made the turn. So that was my bad. That was because the navigation was over, and now the car's like, hello, where do I go? I don't have a destination here. All right, so unprotected left here. The car is stopping really nicely, waiting for this vehicle. And then there is a gap, and look at that. Wow, moving right through. Okay, that was beautiful. So in older versions, a gap like that was kind of hit or miss. Like the car would kind of maybe move forward, but then stop as it saw the other car. But that was definitely an appropriate move. We had plenty of room to do what it did. So that was a really nice left turn. So we got the green light. Wow, and moving forward, wow, that was very good. As the car is still there, that's like exactly how I would have done that. Just kind of slowly move forward, getting ready to turn, and then boom, make the turn. So again, directly into the sun here.
So if I pause right here, I can't see a stop sign, yet the rendering is showing the stop sign. And this is what I'm talking about. This is where having the cameras is very powerful. I can see everything that's going in front of me within the rendering, but you know, again, I'm being blinded by the sun. Yeah, there's a joke there, blinded by the light. But going back to what just happened, those vehicles, one was going straight and one was turning right, and you know, the Teslas was waiting to take a left. As the vehicles were both rolling out, the Tesla knew there's no one else. I would be next. Let me start rolling out. That is, again, very human-like. Okay, if somebody is going straight and you're going to make a left-hand turn, normally you start rolling out. Normally you're already in the intersection before that car even clears, so you can just make your turn. So I thought that was very impressive. I know some of these things may seem trivial, but to you, they're trivial. You're human. For this to be done by a software being developed by Tesla, this is unreal. It really makes you think about, if they can do this with cars, well, maybe they can really do something with the humanoid. But we'll talk about that on Friday.
Directly into the sun here. Not a problem for the cameras at all. The windshield's pretty dirty, so it's kind of hard to see. Waiting for our turn. It actually is our turn. So let's see what the car's going to do. We're kind of awkwardly turned here, and then that person is just like, all right, well, you didn't go, I'm going to go. And then, okay, that was not very good. So it did, very strange. So it did, like, incorrectly waited for our turn because we were there before that person. Once they started to go, though, because the car mistakenly thought it was their turn, my car started to move forward, which was great, but then it was like it was trying to go around them as they were there. So obviously not very good. I will report that. All right, so we're going to stop at this red light. We can then turn right if the car wants to, and it does slowly start moving forward, but then there's a car there way too fast, so we'll report that. Now, to be fair, the car may have stopped for them, but it was just moving too fast, and I was not comfortable with that.
I love that he just said that. So he disengaged it because he thought the car was moving too fast into that right-hand turn with oncoming traffic. But then he also goes ahead and admits it, that maybe the vehicle would have done the right thing, but he just wasn't comfortable with it. There are some FSD beta testers who, are very vocal and critical, and, I still have, crazy amounts of respect for everybody, but sometimes the word choices can give off a different impression, and I think people should be more cognizant of this. There's a difference between the software is lacking or is making a mistake, and your comfort level isn't quite there to allow the vehicle to try it. Now again, if it was my car, I'd be just like all those people who are like, nope, not doing this. But I think I would also acknowledge that this is partly my issue, right? I'm not saying that it means the FSD would do it perfectly for sure, but I'm also aware that I have some reservations and some discomforts and insecurities in the software itself. So I think there's a balance there, that if you're gonna talk about one side of it, it's important to talk about the other side as well. And I love how he just mentioned it here, saying that it might have done it well, it might have done it right, but I wasn't comfortable with it. Okay, we saw it earlier with Gali whenever he was dealing with the monorails, right? At night he tried it like 4 times, and every time he's like, no. And then he tried it the next day during the daytime. Presumably it's daytime, but he's already tried this a few times and his confidence got built. And so it was successful, right? The Tesla did the right thing. Again, not saying that's going to happen every time, but it is something to just be aware of whenever you're, talking about these things and recording it, just to have a fair balance with that. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think.
Okay, we're good with this top. Yeah, there's a person here. What are you doing? Okay. Okay, actually it did manage it pretty well. It was very careful. It was trying to avoid the pedestrian, so that was good. So we gotta be careful. We have a stop. They do not.
So if you look at the rendering here, keep an eye. You can see the dog, the puppy. You can see it come up a little bit there. So I love that they're rendering dogs now. I think that's awesome.
So we need to cross both lanes, and here's the doggy. You probably saw it on the visualization. It was blue. We're giving way to the doggy. Okay. So it's creeping forward a little bit. Visibility, we have no cars on the left, no cars on the right, and it's going pretty good. It's going fast. That's good. I like it.
Now turn left onto Via Joyce Drive.
Okay, here we go. No oncoming traffic, unfortunately, but very confident left turn.
All right, everybody. We're just going to get this ending in here. It's been about an hour long going through this. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. Cheers to Tesla team. Cheers on the Beta 10. It was very successful. My fiance is actually behind cheersing as well. So, very proud of the team. This is absolutely amazing. I don't think this could have been any better. Obviously, it's not done. It's not complete, but we're getting there. We're getting very, very close. So it's very exciting. All right, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Ring that bell so you're aware when these videos come up. And until Friday, I'll see you guys next time.